welcome back to the Trike Show. I'm Harold.
And I'm Brayden.
And we're here to talk Trikes. This little segment that we're going to be doing weekly is going to be me and Brayden answering your questions and giving you answers about Trikes, quads, and everything in between. And without further ado, let's get into our first question.
Yeah. So first off, got asked on Live Help. Some Trikes come with 26-inch rear wheels. Some come with 20-inch. Some of them are interchangeable. I mean, what are the advantages or disadvantages between the two?
Yeah, when you have a Trike, like all of the cab Trike lineups that have all of the same 10-speed gearing except for the Mac, which has 11-speed, sure. Then you see the difference between the 20-inch and 26-inch rear wheel. Really, the only thing in the barest of what it comes down to, a larger wheel is going to give you more high gearing, and then a smaller wheel is going to give you more low gearing. So when you have that 26-inch rear wheel, you're going to go a little bit quicker on your straightaways. You're going to be able to go just about a mile or two more than you would with the 20-inch wheel. But when you're climbing, you're going to be suffering a little bit more because you don't have that low-end gearing for the climbing gear. So when you're when you need to keep in mind when you're choosing your wheel size, a smaller wheel is going to give you a little bit more climbing.
More torque.
A little bit more torque.
Sure. Yeah. And whereas a 26 is just going to get you that higher speed.
Right.
Potentially. Right. I mean, you're still working for it.
Right.
The other disadvantages or advantages of a 20-inch?
I mean, the main other disadvantage is, of course, the size of the bike.
Sure.
So with Trikes are big already, so transporting them and storing them is a big concern for a lot of the people that we work with. So if you're really concerned about how am I going to be able to get this into my car, is this going to be able to fit into my garage or my shed or whatnot, a 20-inch rear wheel is going to be a more compact package with the Trike. And then 26-inch, if you already have a huge truck bed or if you're going to be riding out from location, you don't have to worry about storage that way.
Sure.
That's great.
Even on our folding models, the Cat Trike Trail folded compared to the 559 with the big 26-inch.
Right.
The height of them it's just different already.
Yeah,
so storing a folded Trike 20 and 26, 20-inch still has an advantage. Right. You just have to carry the one.
So if you keep that in mind as well, if you're going to be going on touring, you don't want to carry a lot with you. Getting a Trike with 20-inch wheels all the way around, only have to carry one size of two.
Right. You don't have to worry about keeping a 20 and a 26-inch too.
Right. It makes it a lot more convenient.
So kind of to loop back to the original question, why is it so important that a customer picks a wheel between the 20-inch and the 26-inch? We kind of went over it a little earlier.
Right.
I mean, the Cat Trike Trail is a 20-inch option. Right. 559 is kind of a 26 option.
Yeah.
The Ice Adventures, you get to choose.
What's the point?
Yeah. What's the reason?
I mean,
why is it so important?
If we have a customer who is concerned only about speed, going as fast as they can, I'm going to recommend a 26-inch. That's going to give you the most speed. Even with a motor couple of that, you're going to be zooming. Where if someone's worried about storing, climbing, and even if there's a weight capacity concern, a 20-inch wheel is going to be a little bit stronger than a 26-inch just because those spokes are a little bit smaller.
Right.
So that's what I would recommend to sum it up.
Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well.
Yeah.
I think we're ready to move on to the next question.
Definitely. Why is the D3 incompatible with the 26x4-inch wheel?
Well, I think it's important we start first off with what the D3 is, right? For those that aren't familiar. It's a Cat Trike Dumont frame that we have made custom to have fat tires, 20x4-inch all the way around. There is some complications there. We do have to go to an internal gear hub on the back, which is another good segue for a roll-off one of these times. But really, it's a 20x4-inch fat tire Trike. We took the Dumont, changed it. You contain the suspension. Right. You just have fat tires now. Unfortunately, with those fat tires, the rear spacing in the back, the dropouts, there isn't room to add a 26-inch by 4-inch tire.
Right, it's just too narrow as you go further towards the frame of the Trike.
Right. I would like to kind of add a 20x4-inch fat tire isn't going to be the same size as a 20-inch skinny tire.
Right.
I really, diameter-wise, probably looking more like a 24-inch tire.
Right.
So I don't think you're missing out on a whole lot compared to the stock configuration.
And you're still getting plenty of rubber, plenty of traction.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, just now you have fat tires. Right.
Right. It's a little bit smaller than what you've seen in the Fat Cat V3, which is another one of our Fat Cat trikes that does take the 26x4.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's important to also add some trikes come stock with 20-inch tires.
Right.
That doesn't mean you're stuck with 20-inch tires for all of them.
Right.
We do have custom extension plates for a handful of our trikes. So if you have like a Villager with 20-inch tires, we have extensions for that to make it a 26-inch tire. Which all circles back to the first question.
Yeah.
Back to tire size.
Yeah, back to speed, back to gear ratios and climbing and whatnot. Let's talk about fat bikes.
Fat trikes?
Fat trikes.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the fan favorite, right?
Yeah, everyone loves them. Everyone's got to have them. They're the rage right now.
They look great, feel great to ride.
What are the options, though? Like what
should we be looking at?
Yeah. What should people be looking at when they're trying to get into the fat trike market?
Sure. I mean, we just talked about the D3.
Right.
It's my favorite one we've got.
I love it too. It's awesome looking.
We don't need to go more into that one. But I mean, the first option we offered was the V3.
Right.
I shortly mentioned just barely. It's built off of the Villager frame, big 26x4 all the way around.
Right.
Nearly right after making the Fat Cat V3, we made the Crawler, which is based off of some of the Sunseeker frames.
Yeah, it's based on the Easy Tad.
The Easy Tad,
Fat Tad Crawler RS, which is based off of the newer Sunseeker Fat Tad CXS that came out shortly after that.
Right. And I mean, the big difference between like our Crawler RS and the manufacturer CXS, ours has 26x4, theirs has 20x4.
Right.
Just to loop everything back together again, right? Put a nice bow on it. I can't wait to talk about it. I love the Ice Full Fat. Yeah. This is my favorite fat tire trike option.
It's a beautiful trike, yeah.
Beautiful story. The girl runs around all of Antarctica in it.
Yeah.
I mean, perfect. Speaks for itself almost.
Right. It comes with the book too. So
comes with the book.
For anyone getting an Ice Full Fat, hope you're ready to do some light reading.
Well, perfect. And then another option, the Azub Fatty is great.
Right.
I love everything Azub makes. I don't think they did anything wrong making the Fatty.
Yeah.
I think the like full fat and the Fatty go kind of hand in hand with each other.
Right.
It's really up to like I think a color preference.
Yeah.
Is what it comes down to for me.
Yeah, the full fat does have rear suspension though.
Right.
Another thing to keep in mind are after trikes, we were just looking for something a little bit more intense. We have our quads.
I say, what's better than 3 wheels?
Another wheel, maybe 4 wheels.
4 wheels, a little crazy.
Going from there,
wild.
What we do with our quads is we have our Revolution E Quad RS. We have our Fat Cat 4 or Cat 4 quad. So many different.
I mean, a bunch of options,
a bunch
right?
Of options you can do. The sky's the limit, especially with our E Quad. We make that in house. We really do our best to custom tailor it to every customer.
I mean, being made in house gives us a lot of opportunities to customize it however the customer needs it to be. Right. So whether that's size, weight capacity, a second passenger,
right?
We have options. We can totally figure something out.
Yeah, if you dream it, we can build it.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of what we see with quad buyers is they're looking to spend a lot of money, a lot of investment in getting a really custom built quad. But for those that are looking for an entry level option, what do we have?
I mean, the Eco Quad, right?
Yeah.
Based off of that Sunseeker Eco Tad frame, keeps cost a little lower. Right. Fantastic trike. There is no suspension, steel frame, but 2-wheel drive in the back. We can throw a motor on it the same way.
Right, and you can get that with stock road tires or 20x4 fat.
Yeah, another thing, I mean, I think it's important to mention, fat tires doesn't always mean off-road tires.
No.
I get asked all the time, well, do you make a street tire option? Yes, there are street tire options.
Right.
So don't think that because you have fat tire, it is made for off-road.
Right.
It can be for both.
Right. This depends on the tire tread and then the knob you get.
Because you brought up the Eco Quad, I want to talk a little bit about the Eco Tad.
Awesome.
I got asked the other day, can you add a front derailleur system to an Eco Tad? Which I know is a loaded question. So,
not really. Eco Tad really wasn't built with that in mind. It is something that, with a lot of custom fabrication on your end, you could do. The first thing that you're going to have to overcome is, of course, the Eco Tad does not have a front derailleur post. So what you're either going to have to come up with is you're going to have to find a post to weld onto the front of the Eco Tad or bolt on there.
Sure.
And then great, you have that derailleur and you can get a 3-speed. Another problem, all the railers and all front crank options are going to require an idler. Guess what the EcoTad doesn't have? It is unique in that it does not have any idlers.
No idlers.
Big
runs from the straight from the front crank all the way to the back of your cassette.
Right.
Nothing in between.
Right. So what you then have to do, and this is when it starts to get dangerous, you're going to have to find a way to get an idler onto your trike, which is going to involve drilling the frame, welding components, and then when you start messing with the frame of your trike, start messing with the integrity of the trike, and then things can go wrong.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't generally recommend drilling holes through your frame.
No, you shouldn't.
I mean, it's a pretty dangerous, risky.
Don't drill holes in things that don't have a hole already in them.
Sure.
Not with these. We used to have a conversion. We used to do that not often, but we could do it. We just decided to get away from that because there are other options in the same price range and what you'd be spending and all of this custom fabrication and all of this work. You could just go to a Sunseeker Easy Tad for a few $100 more.
Right.
You have a 3-speed and you have an 8-speed in the back. Bada bing, bada boom, you're good.
Instead of spending all the money on custom fabrication to make a trike work, there's already trikes that work, and it's going to cost about the same between the custom fabrication and just the base price.
Yeah, and plus, if you're getting an EcoTad and you want to go fast, get a motor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Just put a big fat motor on there.
There you go.
They hold up really great.
Get a throttle, have a great time, speed racer.
So, speaking about a motor, right? Throwing a motor on EcoTad.
Love motors.
I get asked all the time.
Yeah.
What is the point of changing the chainring size in tangent with the motor, right?
It kind of ties back into the wheel question. What you got to keep in mind, a bigger size chainring in the front is going to equal more speed, more power, and a lower size chainring is going to be more torque, better climbing. What you got to keep in mind too is that all of our motors are going to go at least 20 miles per hour. So when you start to look at getting a trike and the first thing you're thinking is, and you've not even ridden the trike yet and you're worried about the chainring size, my recommendation, just ride the trike first.
Yeah, get on it.
Ride the trike first.
Try it out.
You might be pleasantly surprised in how much the motor can take up in your speed, your climbing and everything. But
that's my favorite thing about throwing the motor on them.
Yeah.
Like all of your torque, speed, I'm not really worried about them. Throttle kind of does everything for me if I need it to.
It's the great equalizer.
Hey, we calling it the great equalizer down here. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I recommend trying your trike first, and then if you are finding that your cadence isn't matching up, you need more power, more torque, give us a call. We'll help you work that out after you try out the trike.
Try it stock.
You're
going to like it anyways.
Yeah.
Try it out, and then we can fine-tune it as you work through it.
Right. Well, Brayden, do you have any other questions?
I think that about does it for this week.
Call us, email us, go on live help, reach out to us. We want to answer questions. Yeah. And until then, relax, spin fast, and ride trikes. We'll see you guys next time. Relax, spin fast, and ride.
Relax, spin fast, ride trikes.
All right. So, Brayden, what do we always got to remember to do?
We got to always remember, relax, spin fast, and ride trikes.
We'll see you next time, guys. Have a good one.